Good morning, I'm Nashika, and this is chale.news for Monday, July 28th. A lot is breaking this morning. 55 Ghanaians dead in a war they were trafficked into, and now there's a criminal probe, a tribunal bill that's drawing comparisons to Ghana's darkest judicial chapter, fuel prices changing 3 times a day, and a 20-year-old from Dreams FC just signed for Barcelona. Let's get into it. Ghana has launched a formal criminal investigation into networks that trafficked 272 Ghanaians into the Russia-Ukraine war. 55 of them are confirmed dead. Foreign Affairs Minister Abdul says this is part of a continent-wide racket that has swept up 1,780 Africans from 36 countries. The scale of this is staggering, and no arrests have been announced yet. Full breakdown on chale.news. The tribunal bill passed by Parliament now sits on President Mahama's desk, and constitutional scholar Professor Kwesi Yanka is raising a serious alarm. He says the bill revives the logic of the PNDC's kangaroo courts that executed men without trial in 1979. Orphans of those men testified their fathers were gagged. A constitutional review committee had already recommended scrapping the tribunal system entirely. The president's pen matters here. On the third-term constitutional debate, the lawyer at the center of the Supreme Court case on presidential term limits says this was never about engineering a third term for Mahama. Kenegye Kuranchi told Joy News his writ doesn't even mention Mahama by name. He says it's about resolving a genuine constitutional ambiguity. The case continues. Nigeria is asking South Africa a direct question: is the state complicit in migrant killings? After high-level diplomatic talks on Monday, Abuja said it has documented cases where SA police looked away during anti-migrant attacks. At least 98 Nigerians killed since 2022. Ghana is watching closely. 2 Ghanaians are dead, a second body still awaited, and no charges filed. Washington has handed Ghana $4 million in military hardware, drones, night vision goggles, radar systems, at a ceremony in Teshi. It's the second U.S. military donation to Ghana in a single month. Neither the Ghana Armed Forces nor the Defense Ministry has said how any of it will be deployed. 2 gifts, 0 explanation. Fuel prices are now changing up to 3 times a day. The COMAC CEO says bulk distribution companies are making that impossible to manage at the forecourt. Petrol is at 14.50 Ghanaian cedis a liter, diesel is closing in on 18 Ghanaian cedis, and August could bring more increases. The NPA has not responded. Ghana's banks are recovering. Total assets have topped 502 billion Ghanaian cedis, the strongest half year since the 2023 debt crisis, and bad loans are falling sharply. Good news, but lending rates are still above 28%, which means cheap credit isn't reaching the people or businesses who actually need it. Verified footage is circulating showing 2 Chinese nationals beheading an animal and lighting red candles at what appears to be a Galamsey site in Ghana. Ghana Web confirmed the video. No government body has responded. Not one. And this drops the same week we exposed minors operating openly beside a police station. Full story on chale.news. A devastating accident at Bukom Junction Monday evening. A vehicle suspected of brake failure plowed into pedestrians. At least 3 people are feared dead, including a pregnant woman and a child. No official police statement yet. Let that sink in. The 24-hour economy has scored 4.2 out of 10 in a new national poll. The Women's Development Bank fared only slightly better at 4.6. Pollster Musa Dankwa says Ghanaians aren't rejecting the ideas. They're frustrated by slow delivery and no visible jobs. The numbers are a message. Global HIV funding has crashed to its lowest level in 20 years, down 18% to $7.3 billion, after the U.S., which once covered 3/4 of global HIV aid, pulled back under Trump. UNAIDS is warning of a full resurgence. Ghana's prevention programs are directly in the crossfire. Sports journalist Godfred Akoto-Boafo is alleging the GFA knew Thomas Partey's Canadian visa was denied 2 full days before the Panama World Cup match, and said nothing. They reportedly tried to handle it quietly. Questions are also being raised about how his immigration forms were processed. The GFA hasn't responded. Now some good news from the football world. Abdul Aziz Issa, 20 years old, has signed a permanent deal with FC Barcelona. The Dreams FC winger made enough of an impression that Barca exercised their purchase option. He'll develop with Barca Athletic, from the CAF Confederation Cup to the Camp Nou, Chale. Ghana's first medal at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow belongs to Zinabu Issah, a 46-year-old para-athlete who threw a season-best 8.65 meters to win silver in the women's shot put F57. She got there first. Remember her name. And in a historic moment from Asanteman, Otumfuo Osei Tutu II has destooled Nana Kwabena Nsia Ababio, the Kenyasi No. 2 paramount chief, after 89 years on the stool. Found guilty of creating unauthorized chieftaincy positions and defying Asante tradition, nearly all his kingmakers were moved alongside him. 89 years ended in a single sitting. That's your July 28th Morning Digest. Every story we covered today with the full reporting is waiting for you at chale.news. Stay informed, stay sharp. I'm Shika.